Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Rumbuka says social media unrestricted to members. Journalists told to toughen up. And Post-Fiji CEO remanded in corruption case.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Jackie Smith.
Hot on the heels of the fake video maligning the Prime Minister, which was shared on Facebook by SODELPA MP Moses Mbulitavu, the SODELPA leader Sitiveni Rumbuka has now revealed for the first time that his party does not have a social media policy. However, Rumbuka's claim is tonight being contradicted by his own party General Secretary Andiliti Ngonimbaravi, who earlier this week stated that the party in fact does have a social media policy that needs to be followed by all SODELPA party members. But Rumbuka insists SODELPA members are free to post or comment on any issue on social media without any restrictions in place. Felipe Naikaso reports.
In today's fast-changing technology environment, almost every organization has a social media usage policy in place. Everyone, including SODELPA, whose party General Secretary Andilitia Ngonimbaravi categorically states in this Fiji Sun article earlier this week that there is a social SODELPA media policy that everyone associated with the party needs to comply with at all times. However, her leader this afternoon not only contradicts her, but in essence rubbishes her claims of an existing SODELPA social media policy. Sitiveni Rumbuka says there are no social media guidelines in place for party members.
Discipline platform laid for how they use it. And because it's a personal one, every person will have to answer personally for what they put on into the social media. So the party is not responsible.
Rumbuka says social media is a platform where people tend to voice their concerns and issues.
This is my view, and that I'm an aspiring candidate, and that's the way I think. So, and I believe that, and a lot of them are much better academically qualified than I have, but perhaps not lived as long as I have lived. And because of my experience in life.
Many people are on social media, so really it is in the public interest that it remains, that it should be used freely to express free speech. But on the other hand, people should be mindful of the balance they need to strike regarding the privacy rights of individuals.
Even though given the opportunity to do so, neither Rumbuka or Tambuya made any comments this afternoon about the man who started this controversy for SODELPA. Moses Mbulitavu admits he shared a doctored video about the Prime Minister and made derogatory remarks about him based on the fake video, which he then shared with thousands of people on social media. Mbulitavu claims he does not know who made the fake video. However, tonight neither Mbulitavu, Rumbuka, Tambuya or anyone else from SODELPA has shown any signs of remorse or repentance for the posting of contemptible fake news about the Prime Minister on social media. It's not known if Andilitia has tonight revealed to her party members and leader the party social media policy that only she seems to be aware of. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the party today launched their official website. The party launched the website in Vunda VCC together with Naturanga Mbale Natui Vunda, Ratu Eparama Kitione Tavaingia, and Naturanga Natui Nandi Ratu Vuniani Tawai. SODELPA says it's an important tool on the digital frontier.
It's we know that it's a very effective way to communicate, particularly to say who you are, and what you're all about.
The next few months will be an intense one, especially for media organizations, as we build up to the general election. The safety of journalists will be of utmost importance as they try to get news across to the public. Akusita Tale reports.
Fijian Media Association General Secretary and former journalist Stanley Simpson says journalists need to understand and take threats and comments thrown at them from party supporters and politicians with an open mind.
Journalists will need to develop a thick skin. They will have to understand and appreciate they will take attacks from all sides, sometimes both sides. during the campaign, which is going to be intense, and a lot of people, the campaigning period, there'll be a lot of emotions.
The association is also calling on media houses to hold refresher courses or have guidelines for their news teams to follow while reporting during the election period.
The training of their journalists and how they will handle themselves ahead of these elections, because it's very important that the public get both sides of the information so that they can make a proper decision or a well-informed decision when they go to vote when the election takes place.
We already have our policies in place from previous elections, and of course we are always trying to make it better and improve on it as we go along. But we are hoping that before the elections, whenever that may be this year, we can squeeze in a few more training sessions.
The Media Association is also calling on journalists to publish and broadcast factual, fair and credible news reports in the lead-up to elections. Questions sent to other media organizations remain unanswered. Akosita Tali, FBC News.
Supervisor of Elections Mohamed Saneem has refuted claims by opposition MP Moses Mbulitavu regarding the details of the campaign period in the polling agent's handbook and the candidate's handbook published by the Fijian Elections Office. Mbulitavu claims the explanation of the campaign period on page 84 of the polling agent's handbook is different from what is written on the page 22 of the candidate's handbook. Ali Kimbia has more.
Opposition MP Moses Mbulitavu claims that these elections handbook are contradicting and causing confusion. However, the supervisor of elections says Mbulitavu should get proper legal advice in order to fully understand what is written in the handbooks.
Being with a legal background, that the law says that campaign rules apply during an election, which is yet to be announced for 2018. In any event, both the books explain that exact same idea, except that they are for different contexts.
The answer of the supervisor of election is inconsistent with what is in his prepared handbooks for the candidate at page number 22, and that plus the law. Probably he should clarify that to everyone.
Saneem told Mbulitavu that the campaign period is determined by the law.
Lawyers should be able to advise him that the law defines what is campaign period, and campaign is during an election, and the law defines an election as something as after an announcement by His Excellency the President under the Electoral Acts.
Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has confirmed that the campaign period begins after the date of election is announced by the President. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Chief Executive of Post Fiji, Wingham Wong, and the Manager Supply Chain for Post Fiji, Abdul Ali, appeared in the Magistrates Court this afternoon. They face corruption-related charges laid by FICAC. Pranita Prakash reports.
Wong has been charged with 1 count of general dishonesty causing a loss and 1 count of aiding and abetting false or misleading documents. Abdul Ali is charged with 1 count of false or misleading documents. It is alleged that between July and October 2016, Wong purchased a television for his personal use and Ali assisted him in providing an undervalue invoice to the Fiji Revenue and Customs Services. The two have been released on $1,000 bail each with 2 sureties each in the same sum. The case will be called on 14th March. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Still to come, Fiji to host ABU's AGM until 2020. And more emphasis put on helping rural and maritime fishing communities. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti kuminasong buti ko lang ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya sila tali, naguraramay na umani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabali, nagundurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandomoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.
The Fiji Chamber of Commerce President Peter Maisy says businesses should stay away from politics. Maisie says in order to be successful, businesses must abide by the regulations and all government policies. He is urging businesses to remain transparent and accountable.
If we all work together, we can have a better country. We must always be non-political, because from a business perspective, it doesn't matter who's the government of the day. We still have to operate if we wish our business to succeed.
The Consumer Council has received a lot of complaints in the past 5 years about the standard of work carried out by some construction companies. Chief Executive Pramila Kumar says this is becoming a huge concern. Catherine Krishna reports.
It's only the second month of the year and the Consumer Council has already received complaints worth thousands of dollars against shoddy construction.
This year has just started. We are in the month of Feb, and basically we've completed first week of Feb, and within these 6 weeks we have received 9 complaints worth $28,000. And if we just look at last year, that's 2017, we received 40 complaints, which was worth $1.7 million. And then if I take the statistics for the last 5 years, we have got 150 complaints worth $3.1 million.
Pramila Kumar says this basically indicates that all is not well in the construction industry. Construction Industry Council President Gordon Jenkins says this is one of the main issues that will be discussed during their annual conference in April.
There are some major issues like standards. There's a major issue like licensing of builders and others, licensing of people in the construction industry. It's not just builders, it's everybody.
Meanwhile, the consumer watchdog is working closely with the Construction Industry Council to address this issue. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Fiji will host the annual general meeting for the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union in 2021. ABU Secretary General Dr. Javad Motaji says Fiji has lifted the bar for other Pacific Island countries by hosting the most important annual gatherings of ABU. Anna Ravulo reports.
Cape Town.
Fiji has hosted a lot of major events lately, the 4th Media Summit and the 9th ABU Pacific Media Partnership Conference being the latest.
This clearly shows the commitments of the Union and the will of the leaders of the Union to work with Pacific Islands, and we have seen the results. We have helped a number of cases to establish television stations here in the Pacific Islands.
Dr. Javad Motagi says they will continue to help Pacific Island countries.
We have given lots of contents, lots of training, lots of advisory services, helped them in going digital, helped them in the sports content, news, and we will continue doing that.
Meanwhile, the FPC Chief Executive says hosting ABU's AGM will definitely benefit the region.
We'll have at least about 600 to 700 delegates from all over the world coming here, and broadcast being available of that meeting to over 2 billion people. It's a huge deal for not only Fiji, but for the Pacific as well. So all the hard work that we've been doing over the last decade is now finally culminating in success for at least Fiji and the rest of the region.
Fiji has received $800,000 from the United States to help develop the fisheries industry. Fisheries Minister Semi Koroi-Lavesao says the funds will be used to financially alternative ventures, especially since a ban has been placed on the export of beach demur. Savara Tamboa has more.
The Fisheries Ministry is putting more emphasis on helping people in the rural and maritime areas who rely heavily on fish sales for income. 50% of the funds given by the USA will be used to equip them.
These refrigerators will then be able to store the fish that they have caught, awaiting the collection by merchants, the ships that come around along the coast and maritime islands to purchase fish from them and then bring it to the main centers and then market it and sell it.
Fisheries officers will train these fishermen on deep-sea fishing. Semi Koroi-Lavesao says they need more funding.
Dependent on the way that the U.S. government view this funding and how it is divided among the South Pacific countries. We would like to have more of it if it is possible.
The annual grant under the U.S. Tuna Fund is kept by the Foreign Affairs Ministry as it deals with the negotiation and signing of the agreement between Fiji and the US. Savira Tambua, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, FNRL CEO Timothy Nalemba to meet Fiji Mbati players, but we now join Rachel for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. FNPF clarifies small accounts and unemployment withdrawals. And in growing Fiji, Pacific TAFE expands to the north. Stay with us.
Moala rarana lika o tikongona tauna singa toka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na seri.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili. Iborani batukara hambara binanga. Do talitakina na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na seri. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 na seri.
In business tonight, the Fiji National Provident Fund has clarified several issues pertaining to the new withdrawal guideline which came into effect February 1st. The FNPF says there's a lot of misunderstanding on the qualifying conditions for the full withdrawal for small accounts and early withdrawals for unemployment assistance. Chief Operating Officer Chachi Koroi says some members have not fully understood the rationale for these changes and have misinterpreted the requirements. To qualify for small account withdrawals, members must be between the age of 50 and 54, be unemployed for 3 years from the date of application, have a balance of 5,000 or less. Koroi says the entitlement for unemployment assistance of 2,000 is for social protection and have been extended to cover local seasonal workers. However, the assistance does not cover overseas contractors such as those who work for overseas security firms, as they have not been contributing to their account. And we now join Sharon from HFC with the latest from the Money World.
Thank you. A quick look at the markets today. Wall Street seems to be on a roller coaster ride. The US stock markets dropped sharply yesterday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average falling 1,033 points. The sell-off deepened in the final hour of trading. It was prompted by renewed fear of inflation and higher interest rates as the US Treasury bond yields hit a 4-year high. Other major stock indexes also dropped. The S&P 500 fell 101 points, and the Nasdaq index fell 275 points. In other news, the Bank of England kept its interest rates unchanged at 0.5%. The US initial jobless claims came in at 221,000, while Australia reported a bigger than expected drop in their home loans. And that's all for now. See you next week.
Thanks, Sharon. Looking at today's current exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollars. With the world stock markets fluctuating and affecting foreign exchange, the Fiji dollar rose against the Chinese yuan, the Aussie dollar and the euro, and slid only against the others. On the commodities market, oil prices slipped to $60.52 a barrel. Gold closed up $4 just at $1,319 per ounce, and silver was up to close at $16.41 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, the Pacific Technical and Further Education of Pacific TAFE at USB has expanded its services to the north. Pacific TAFE says the expansion is due to the growing demand of student interest in the internationally accredited courses offered by the institution. The center is located at the Gurbachan Singh Mall in Lambasa town. USB Vice Chancellor Professor Raj Chandra says Pacific TAFE is now in a position to provide more of its internationally accredited qualifications in the northern divisions. Students from the north will be able to complete all courses of the program and graduate without leaving home. And that's a wrap from Business This Week. Now to sports, here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Labour hopes to get extra help ahead of Commonwealth Games. And Tamanisau ready to feature for Suva in the VPL. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची FM सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची FM is #1. It's so hot.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची FM सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची FM is hot.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची FM सुनते हैं। मिर्ची FM is hot. I love मिर्ची FM.
हमें स्पिन टोटो हुआ कि मिर्ची FM में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways men's sevens coach Gareth Baber plans to acquire the services of a few experts as he prepares the national side for the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia. Currently on his list, the defence and kicking specialist, Varstil Prasad reports.
The Fiji Airways Flying Fijians defence coach Peter Ryan is likely to work with the Fiji Sevens team when they begin preparation for the Commonwealth Games.
People who have got good qualities, understand the way that we play, understand how powerful Sevens is here in Fiji, are good people to have around to develop the players. And my ambition is to develop these players into the best team in the world.
Baber will also rope in a kicking specialist as the time nears for the games in Gold Coast.
The players have worked with a gentleman called Damien Hill previously, who's working down Australia and New Zealand. We've inquired about obviously his services.
But for now, focus turns to the Las Vegas and Vancouver tournaments. The side goes into camp on Tuesday.
Keep this momentum going on what we've achieved so far. We know it's only one tournament win, and we want to add to that with 2s and 3s and 4s, and obviously moving forward to the likes of the Commonwealth Games and the World Cup.
Coach Gareth Baber knows it's not over yet. He has a lot of hard work to do to claim that gold medal at stake in the Commonwealth Games. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
At a press conference in Suva today, World Rugby officially announced the change in the player selection criteria for teams competing in the Pacific Challenge from next month. World Rugby Tournament Director Michael Groom saying the main reason for the change is to develop younger players in a more competitive environment. Meli Tavanga reports.
World Rugby has now turned its focus on developing rugby, and to start off, they've changed the selection process.
It provides a high-performance platform for these young players to showcase their talent and look for a direction or a pathway into their national team.
Director Michael Groom says the tournament is great for young players who want to show their best.
The team is to have 5 players above the age of 23, but the core group of those squads are under 23 players, yes.
Meanwhile, FRU Chief Executive John O'Connor has welcomed the new selection formula.
We've received the notification from World Rugby that it should be a combination of experience and under 23 players. So we're working through that now to make sure that we comply.
The tournament runs from 9th through the 17th of next month. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Fiji National Rugby League Chief Executive Timothy Nalemba will travel to Australia to visit as many Fiji Mbati players as possible in the hope of mending issues that arose during last year's Rugby League World Cup. FNRL Chair Filimoni Vasorongo says they are working on getting the World Cup payments to players to avoid them boycotting future international matches, and adds they hope to talk with as many players as they can to solve all outstanding issues.
We, would be following a mechanism to get into speaking with the players to make sure that we explain the position that we found ourselves in. Look at it in a way in which we can amicably resolve all of these things. We're looking forward to having the boys come back and put on the jumper like they've always done in the past.
The Nausori Bulldogs Rugby League club has been revived after a lapse of more than a decade. The club that was formed in 1992 was active until 2005 before it was disbanded due to financial constraints. This year's team will be the new inclusion in the Fiji National Rugby League's Vodafone Cup competition. Luciana Tangedakimba reports.
The club's first mountain is to feature at this weekend's FNRL Nines tournament in Singatoka's Lawanga Park. This will be an important tournament to prepare them for the Vodafone Cup.
It's going to be the first time. I'm not expecting much from them, but as I said, it's for them to have a feel, especially due to the age group. So of the players, being the oldest being 26, and then the youngest around 16, we will be, I will say, a bit cautious, but we'll be and try to put them into that learning curve.
Head coach Apimeleki Katunimbao says the main objective is to expose his players' raw talents.
We are going to try and learn as much as we can and absorb the best things we can learn and move on and try and build up the players on confidence, on how they play and how to play smartly.
President Iosefo Tambalala says there's a lot of expectations for the club this year.
To instill in the club, the players, a culture where it's a holistic approach where we develop the spiritual, the physical, the mental and the social skills of the players so they become good players.
The Nosori Bulldog is calling on interested players to join the club as they only have 30 registered players in both the junior and senior grades. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
4 former Rio footballers will boost the Suva side as they gear up for their second Vodafone Premier League match this weekend. Rio officials say that police officers Simeone Tamnisau and Sabanatha Nakalevu, along with Tevita Warnivalu and Madhavan Gaunda, will supply the added firepower that they need to win the VPL tournament. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
National football team goalkeeper Simeone Tamanisau says they will further boost the performance of the players.
They have a formidable team. They are a good team, and I think with a mix of some youth and some old guys in the team, we hope that we'll do well this season.
Sabanatha Nakalevu says Suva has a good set of combination that will be tough to beat once they gel in well.
Our combination, like Madwan is a midfield and I'm a striker. Our combination is still there and we are combining well with other Suva players.
Meanwhile, Suva President Ritesh Pratap believes the capital side has what it takes to win.
Those 4 players, like they have given us a good boost for our side. Those are the places we were lacking, like in the midfield and striking force. Like I think if we go back to last year our downfall was the strike force, and this year we have the good strikers from Rewa. So hopefully we have a good results this year.
With a 3-2 win against Rewa already in the bag, the capital side hopes to continue its winning streak when they face Tabua this Sunday. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful, a historic candy store in the U.S. has sweets that trace back centuries. Find out more after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana barorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong buti ko lang ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Ayaw ko yazo sila tale. Nagurara may nawamanyi nandunga. Gitu talita gila gitu pinasabale kung nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
Polished, refined and well-designed, updates make the Spectre X360 a better, faster convertible laptop. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello to you and to the weekend. Well, it's the best day of the week. Hope you're hugging Friday like anything. On to today, a much humid day across the nation. And did you notice the sudden change in winds? It got much stronger. Looking at the west for today, mugginess was around, but showers later tonight will ease that. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, I guess the wind is really in the mood. More showers are expected for tonight. And up north, a hot one up here too. The weather is quite stiff. At sea, southwest to northeast winds gusting up to 35 knots with rough to very rough seas. For the tides, low tide will be at 2:40 a.m. with high tide at 8:34. Sunrise will be at 5:57. For tomorrow, it looks like a clear day for a bit before rain has the remaining half to itself. Tomorrow's temps, majority of the centers will remain in the lower 30s. And looking further on to Sunday, light showers are likely. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, which team are you supporting for Super Rugby?
My team is Crusade. I support them because they will win.
My team is Crusaders, and I know they will win.
I support Crusaders because they have good play, a good player.
My team this season will be Crusaders.
I'll be watching for the Chiefs, of course. Looking forward to Aaron Crudel's game.
Recapping the main stories, Rumbuka says social media unrestricted to members. Journalists told to toughen up. And Post-Fiji CEO remanded in corruption case. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should those caught vandalizing FRA properties be fined? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was taken by Tokasa Wilson while on board the Spirit of Harmony. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye for now.
Wrong on the Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola untuk talita na Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya ako sila tale. Naguraramay na omanyi. Nando nga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela. Nagundurong. Barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na Ponga ni BNN.